Hey friends, so today I want to talk a little bit about my use cases for ChatGPT. ChatGPT and the other AI tools are a little bit controversial, and so not a lot of people like to see videos about it. But yeah, if you don't like this kind of topic, just click off. Otherwise, keep watching because it has helped me so much in like mental health, social circles, and also like just figuring out life. I'll start with mental load. Oftentimes, when I'm trying to buy something, especially tech related, I start to min max. What does this mean? I look for the minimum price with the maximum power. So when I was trying to buy a smartwatch, this meant asking everyone I knew who had a smartwatch what they thought. It also meant I watched hundreds of videos, okay, maybe not hundreds, but like tens of videos. I read so many articles. I scoured all the pages of all the stores to see all the different watches that were out there and possible to get. And it took at least a month for me to do all of this. And then in the end, because it was so much work and so stressful, I didn't end up buying a watch at all. Now, at the time, this was good. I should say that I wasn't going to use it anyways. And then when I did end up buying one, like a year later, I actually was using it for running. And so, boom. And that's the thing. When I did buy it, I ended up finding one of the watches that was on the list. It was like mid-low tier watch. It was on sale at one of the grocery stores that I go to. And it was insane because I've had this watch for a really long time. And I still don't know all the features that it has. Like, I remember my, I think it's brother-in-law, my sister's husband, he told me about this feature, and I was like, wait, that's life-changing. And he's like, yeah, that's what the watch has. And I've just been using it for running, you know? That's all I wanted it for. I wanted like basic like tracking, like sleep, heart rate, energy level, and running. I just want to track my running and my hikes. So in the end, I didn't need the best of the best. I didn't need the cheapest of the cheapest either, you know? I just needed like a low to mid tier. I'm like, when I think about min-maxing, I think as a user, I will know that if this phone that I'm buying is not the best for the cheapest price, then I'll notice and I'll be like, wow, I hate this phone, but now that I bought it, I can't get a new one. Except you can return everything pretty much nowadays within 30 days. So you can try it, send back if you don't like. And so recently, this has come up again, I was looking for a laptop. And holy moly, like obviously my use cases for a laptop are video editing, photo editing, just document writing, coding, and not a lot of like, I think the heaviest duty thing is the video editing. And I have spent, at least in the beginning, I started watching videos on what people recommended. It was Prime Day recently, it was some sale on Newegg, and I was just looking through and I looked at like renewed or secondhand laptops, and I was just comparing and saying like, oh, okay, well, this one has this CPU, this one has the better CPU, this one has integrated graphics, this has a graphics card. And it was mind-blowing how much time I was already spending into it. And then I was like, wait, hold on. Instead of, the store pages don't always have the full information that you're looking for. You have to go to articles, and sometimes you don't even know what you're looking for. For example, the brightness of a screen and the color intensity. This is like valued by nits, so 500 being really good. That's usually what the max. I think the max have even more, I'm not sure. And this is good for working outside in the sun. And then what the color scheme, so like Adobe RGB, I'm not entirely sure. I just sort of let ChatGPT take that over because I don't need this knowledge. I just need a laptop that works for me. And so sometimes when ChatGPT is helping out, I am a big proponent, and I'll tell you about that in a second, of you need to start learning and seeing what he's saying or they're saying, and applying that, because ChatGPT might not always be there. However, in this case, I would just put in the laptop that I was looking at, put in the other laptop I was looking at, because sometimes I had two laptops. One was a little bit more expensive, and the other one was like slightly less expensive, and I wasn't sure which one was better. And ChatGPT would very nicely put next to each other CPU compare, GPU compare, RAM compare. You could even ask it, because a lot of these selling websites, they don't tell you how many slots there exist for RAM, for additional storage. And so ChatGPT, although it's always good to double check, I mean, it says it whenever you start asking questions, it would be able to give you an answer. And this is what I found so useful, because once you have the answer of 2 RAM slots, for example, then you can type the laptop name, 2 RAM slots, and usually something comes up where you get some more information. I feel like Google has become very bad recently, maybe not recently, but over time, because now if I search the laptop name and RAM slots, I'll get a whole bunch of things. I mean, maybe not with this search query, but like with something similar, I'll get a whole bunch of things, and I'll have to sift through, and it's just, it adds on to the time of research, or like researching what I want to get. And so at the end of the day, like, if I get a laptop which is in my price range and it's good, I'm not gonna notice. And so I can always return it if it's not good. And so, yeah, I think this has been incredible. You can compare items, you can even screenshot the web page, and you can send it in multiple screenshots and have it compare what it sees in the picture, you know? So you don't even have to type anything. And then it can also find links for you. Now, this doesn't work for all things. A lot of times, like when I search for like SSDs, it would give me links to things that are out of stock, especially when I asked for like the cheapest possible things and like the best deals. But it's just incredible what it can do to minimize the time spent on thinking about what you need to buy or how you need to buy it. So the next part is mental health. I feel like this is insane how much I've used this for, or how much this and the next thing, I've used ChatGPT for so much, which is I overthink a lot. And so in social situations, which we'll get into next, so I guess they're kind of combined, but in social situations, I might overthink, and I'll think, oh man, maybe I said something wrong, or maybe this person hates me. And it's very quickly I can just throw in the chat, or I can just throw in the situation, give it context, and say, hey, is this a normal situation? Is this person like mad at me, or whatever, you know? When I'm overthinking and asking the person, see, I am all for open communication, but sometimes overthinking can actually be detrimental to a relationship. So if I constantly am saying, hey, are you mad at me? Hey, are you mad at me? Hey, are you mad at me? At some point they're gonna be like, shut the f up, I am mad at you now, you know? So it's really important that I can have this unbiased place where I can just ask my questions, you know? Like no one's, I mean, I guess these are all, like the next 3 are kind of all combined into one. But sometimes I have these questions about my mental health where, I don't know, it's like WebMD, like I type in my things and then WebMD says I'm gonna die in 2 days. And if you ask friends or family, they're like, no, don't even think about it, you know? So sometimes it's useful to just be able to ask these questions to someone who's okay, low-key now they are remembering what you're saying, but who's quite unbiased, who doesn't have this image of you already. Like a lot of times, a lot of my friends, they know I overthink. And one of my friends especially knows I overthink, and so it can oftentimes be very frustrating talking with her because, true, I do overthink, but sometimes I just want, I don't know, some feeling that I'm not going crazy, some validation that it's okay that I'm thinking this way. It's just not that way. I don't know. But ChatGPT super helpful with these kind of questions, especially with overthinking, dissecting social situations, trying to see what's going on. And then also, I swear to God, I have ADHD or something because I am constantly, and this stops me from sleeping sometimes, I am constantly thinking of random questions, like, and I struggle to move on to whatever else I'm trying to do, like sleeping, having a conversation, or whatever, without getting that answer. But when it comes to questions like what ifs, or would you rathers, or maybe not would you rathers, I will keep those for my friends, but there's just no judgment. And when you Google these questions, I know I'm probably such a dummy for not like understanding how ChatGPT fully works, but it is so interesting that, for example, I say, can I bring yerba mate seeds to Nepal? Because I love yerba mate tea and they don't have it here, and the plants are ideal for this situation. But you know how I knew that? Because ChatGPT told me, So it gave me like this list of like how, what climate yerba mate needs. It gave me all this information, and then who I need to contact if I want to bring in these seeds. It is so bizarre because it's somewhat like talking to a very knowledgeable friend. And that's scary. An article recently came out where ChatGPT, someone posted a screenshot. It was this teenager who had gone back to high school, and ChatGPT knew based on their past conversations. I don't know if you guys have used it and recently noticed it says memory updated after you give it specific like information or questions. And he opened ChatGPT to see that it had messaged him first. It said, "Hey buddy, how was high school? How was your first day?" And then like asked him some personal questions based on their chat history. And I find that so scary. And yet I'm already like, I don't know, I read this article somewhere, or I saw a screenshot of an article somewhere where a very large percentage of people say that they use ChatGPT as a friend. Maybe not as a friend where you would hang out and stuff like that, because that's not really possible, but more of like a confidant where you can ask it questions, confide in it, stuff like this, because you don't really feel like there's like less repercussions, like if I say something, if I have a question about something that I don't even know anything about, and it turns out that this thing is so bad, then my friends might be like, wow, that's fucking crazy. Of course they've got a lot of history with me, so they would like give it the benefit of the doubt, or they would check my intention. But a stranger, or like someone you're meeting and you want to ask them a question, I don't know. Like, I'm going a little bit beyond what I wanted to say with this video, so let me know in the comments down below what you've used ChatGPT for, if you see yourself using this in the future, with the cases that I mentioned. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, friends!